Welcome back to another video. I can't believe it has been over a year since I did my last Tri Brigade video. That video ended up reaching 70,000 views and hundreds of comments. Can we do it again? Help me out by leaving a comment down below. With that said, let's go into Turbo Drive and cover this archetype in the next couple of minutes. Because Tri Brigade has so many level 2 monsters, they have a very cool synergy with sprites in particular. While we aren't going to be covering sprites in this video, I have a dedicated video covering that archetype on the channel already. I will pin it in the comments down below for more information, because in this video, I want to focus on Tri Brigade specifically. These are the main 4 Tri Brigade engine cards. First things first, Tri Brigade cards. They have massive walls of text, so let's go ahead and summarize their effects. So what do they all have in common? Each of these have an effect that lets you banish a number of beast, beast warrior, or winged beasts from your graveyard to special summon a link monster with a rating equal to the number of monsters sent. Needless to say, to utilize this effectively, you want to get a lot of beast, beast warrior, and winged beasts in your graveyard. Luckily, the Tri Brigade engine has ways of achieving that on their own. Tri Brigade Cuirass, for example, lets you discard a monster to special summon itself from the hand. Fractal can be discarded from hand and then sends another Tri Brigade from the deck to the graveyard. Kit, when sent to the graveyard, lets you send another Tri Brigade from your deck to the graveyard. Nerval, when sent to the graveyard, lets you add a Tri Brigade monster from your deck to your hand. Generally, you want to do something like activate Fractal, discard it, send Kit to the graveyard, send Nerval to the graveyard, use Nerval's effect to either add a Kit or Cuirass, depending on your hand. For Kit, it's important to remember that this effect triggers even if you detach it from an XZ like Gigantic Sprite, so having Kit as a material is quite beneficial. Or you could use it to summon Sprite Elf and trigger its effect that way. So if you end up in a situation where you do have Kit in hand, but no Fractal or Cuirass, this is one of the ways to get the Tri Brigade engine rolling. Since Tri Brigade Sprites utilizes the Nimble engine as well as being able to play DD Crow as an anti-Tearlaments card, your graveyard generally has plenty of beast-aligned monsters to banish with your Tri Brigade. So outside of your Sprite engine, what link summons does Tri Brigade add to your arsenal? For the most part, Farigit, Bearbrum, and Shuraig are your main link summons you want to go into. In some cases, Rugal is used as well. Farigit, a Link 2 monster, lets you special summon a Tri Brigade from your hand, and when sent to the graveyard, lets you draw a card, but you do need to put 1 card to the bottom of your deck. Bearbrum lets you discard 2 cards to then special summon one of your banished monsters. I personally rarely use this effect. Instead, I use Bearbrum for its second effect. When it is sent to the graveyard, add a Tri Brigade spell or trap to your hand, and then put a card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. The trap you want to go for is Tri Brigade Revolt. This trap, when activated, lets you special summon Tri Brigade cards from your banish zone and graveyard, and you use those monsters to link summon one of your Tri Brigade boss monsters, Rugal or Shuraig. Rugal special summons 1 monster from your hand or graveyard. When sent to the graveyard, the opponent's monsters lose 300 attack times the number of attributes you control. Shuraig is the main monster you want to go into, though. When this card or another beast, beast warrior, or winged beast is special summoned, you get to banish 1 card on the field. When it is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Tri Brigade from your deck to your hand. A well-timed Shuraig summon can massively disrupt your opponent's plays. Also, if you set Shuraig up alongside Sprite Elf, you can even use Elf's effect to special summon a Tri Brigade card from the graveyard to then trigger Shuraig's banish effect. Before we jump into the other extra deck monsters, I want to give you a word of caution. Sprite Starter and Gigantic Sprite, when activated, stop you from summoning anything that isn't a level, link, or rank 2 from the extra deck. Also, your Tri Brigade cards, when activated on the field to special summon your link monster, stop you from link summoning for the rest of the turn with anything that isn't a beast, beast warrior, or winged beast. So both of these can limit each other quite a bit. For the most part, this means you want to activate your Tri Brigade summon last to get something like a Bearbrum on the field, and then going into your Link 4 Shuraig during your opponent's turn with the Revolt trap. The Tri Brigade cards do not stop you from XZ summoning and such, only link summons, so you can mostly play around the limitation. With that out of the way, let's jump into the other extra deck monsters, Ancient Warrior's Oath Double Dragon Lords, because it has an excellent quick effect that lets you bounce an opponent's card to the hand by sending a card from your field or hand to the graveyard. So you could theoretically use it to discard something like a kit, which then triggers its chain of effects, or sending a sprite card you might want to special summon back with Sprite Elf. The typical Magician and Zeus package can be included if you want a board wipe on demand. Appaloosa is great for negating a ton of monster effects. And of course, access code Talker as your win condition. This card is able to pop several cards on your opponent's field and then going in for lethal. As for new cards that I did not cover in my Sprites video, we now have Sprite Sprind available to us. In this deck, Sprind lets you send a Tri Brigade-like kit from your deck to your graveyard. If the opponent special summons a monster, you can remove a material from a XZ you control to then bounce a monster on the field. You can only use one of Sprind's effects per turn, though, so you either mill a card or bounce a card. Some people run Donner, Dagger for hire as well. In this deck, Donner can target itself and a monster your opponent controls to destroy both. With that said, I think we went over all the basics of playing Tri Brigade in 2023. You could play this deck as pure Tri Brigade, but having the Sprites package tied into it makes it more consistent. In some games, you'll heavily rely on the Sprite plays. Some games you can go all in on the Tri Brigade plays. All the bounce and banish effects make this a great contender in the current meta. It's not necessarily an S-tier deck, but it's a solid A-tier strategy to go into that not only continues to be relevant similar to decks like Sky Striker, but is exceptionally splashable as you might have concluded from this video. If these guides are helpful to you, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below. If you want to support the channel financially, there is a join button down there. For just a couple of dollars a month, you can help me to continue putting out guide videos. The cost that goes into these videos does not match the income yet, so I hope to get some support soon because I love making these videos but cannot afford them on my own. Either way, just sticking around to the end already means the world to me. Thank you so much for checking out my guide. Also, while you are here, why not check out these two videos?